Good morning, evening, and afternoon. I'm the Professional Killer, and in today's video, we're going over some simple tips that are guaranteed to increase your kill to death ratio inside of Halo Infinite. If you're new here, then first of all, welcome to the channel. I put out Halo content every single day. I also have more tips, tricks, and guides on my channel page. If that's something that interests you, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. That way you don't miss out on any content. If you'd like to talk to me live, I do live stream here, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch every single Tuesday and Thursday. Links to my socials are down below. So let's go ahead and cover what kill to death ratio means. Basically, it means how many kills are you getting per death that you have. You want to at least maintain a kill death ratio of 1.0, which means you're killing at least one enemy every time you die. If your kill to death ratio is 2.0, for instance, that means you typically average 2 kills to 1 death. You want to maintain a positive kill to death ratio because it means that you are actually helping your team either by even trades with the enemy or eliminating more members of the enemy team, therefore giving your team the overall advantage. If your kill to death ratio is below 1.0, unfortunately that means you are handicapping your team. Okay, so now that we're in game, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to tweak a couple settings. What these settings are going to do is basically free up your screen, allow you to see more, and overall increase your accuracy. So let's go ahead and open up our settings. We're going to navigate over to the video settings area, and the first thing is the field of view. I've already mentioned this in one of my previous videos of best settings. I'll link that up above. Field of view, you want to change this. As you can currently see the screen, this is 76. This is what you can see. Now watch what happens when I put this up to, I typically play on 115. You can already see the screen zooming out. Now look at everything else that you can see. The next thing that we're going to do in order to free up some space is we're going to get rid of our gun. Okay, the gun takes up a good portion of our screen right here, and we're going to toggle the UI menu right here. We're going to scroll all the way down to weapon offset. As you can see, weapon type rifle. You have to do these for each and every single one of these. What you want to do is turn your horizontal offset all the way to 100%. This is going to push your rifle all the way to the right side of your screen. The vertical reset, we're going to then put minus 100%, which is going to bring it all the way down. And the depth, minus 100%. This is going to bring it further in. You can see the background right here as far as where the gun is. Now watch when it moves when I close this menu. Look at how much extra space that cleared up. Being able to see more of the map, not to mention just decluttering the screen a little bit, will vastly improve your ability to lock on target and see your enemies before they see you. So now that we've cleared up some space on the screen, let's go ahead and toggle a couple other settings that are going to help your survivability. Go ahead and open up your settings again. We're going to navigate to whatever you're using. I'm of course on keyboard and mouse. We're then going to scroll down to auto clamber. This, I believe, is automatically toggled on, and in my opinion, this is something that needs to be toggled off. Also, step jump. Step jump needs to be toggled on. The other setting would be hold to zoom. And basically what this means is that when you're zooming in your weapon, if somebody shoots you, it descopes you. If this is off, it means that once you zoom in, it just stays on. If somebody descopes you, then you have to press the button again. Meanwhile, if you hold to zoom, as long as you are holding your zoom button, which mine is my right click mouse, so if I'm holding down my right click, if somebody shoots me and descopes me, my gun will automatically rescope back in. This is very crucial to long range battles and helps give you a little bit of an advantage. So let's go over like the auto clamber and the step jump. The auto clamber basically means that when you run up to a obstacle like this, if you jump, your Spartan is not going to automatically grab a hold of it. With this on, with it off, you have to double tap the space bar in order to, or your jump button, whatever your jump button is, in order to clamber on top of something. This is with auto clamber off. I'm going to run up here. Say there's somebody's pushing midfield right here. Okay. I'm going to run. I'm going to jump. I'm up. Okay. I can keep shooting while I'm jumping. Okay. When you clamber, you cannot shoot. So that is why you want to turn this off. Look at how much of a difference this is here. So if there's people pushing midfield and if I'm clambering, they're basically getting free shots on me, and I can't shoot them. With auto clamber off, I can jump, pre-fire, and I'm throwing rounds right down range. Okay, so the next thing that I want to go over is the step jump. And we're going to relocate over here real quick. What the step jump does is it keeps you from basically max jumping height. Okay, so if I run up to an area like this, okay, and you're going to jump over it, because obviously it's in your way. When you jump, you're going to jump max height. That's a lot of extra space. Look at how high I'm going. Okay. With the step, well, it didn't do it there. The step jump triggered. So basically you can over jump your things like this. Okay. Now with step jump on, it restricts your Spartan to basically a lower jump, just high enough to get over top of the obstacle in front of you. So if I'm pushing, for instance, and I jump, look at how much lower I am here. This is with step jump on. Okay, let me turn step jump off real quick. Look at how much higher I am. This basically leaves you exposed to your enemy for a brief period of time, okay? Obviously it's much easier to shoot a Spartan when they're jumping in midair because you're very limited in your movement. So that is something else that you want to keep toggled on. Makes all the difference in the world. Okay, so now that we've got some settings out of the way, let's go over some real tips here as far as basically getting your reticule on your enemy before they can get it on you, because that's what it really comes down to inside of Halo. Whoever gets the first shot is going to definitely have the upper hand and most likely come away with that victory, because if you run across somebody who has basically the same skill level as you and you both see each other, whoever gets the first shot off is going to be the victor in that battle. So if this is the stronghold point that I'm pushing, okay, I don't want to have my reticule on the ground here. What am I aiming at here? Okay, even if I go around the corner, my reticule is still on the ground. So basically anybody up in this area already has the first shot on me if they're pre-firing and waiting. Okay, me, if I'm rotating like this, I then have to flick up, or I have to flick to a direction of wherever the enemy's at. As opposed to, let's say, if I'm working around the corner here, I'm going to keep my reticule where the Spartan could potentially be. That way, all I have to do is make a very small adjustment in order to land shots onto my enemy. Okay, so now that we've covered where we need our reticule to be placed at on the screen, let's talk about sprinting. This is something that I personally am also guilty of, and I find myself doing it a lot, and it's something that you have to back off of. There's really not much speed difference between regular walking and actually sprinting. It's very, very minimal. The main difference between this is that when you're sprinting, it actually delays your first shot. Your Spartan has to stop sprinting, pull the gun up, and then fire his round. As opposed to if you're just walking, as soon as you click or as soon as you pull the trigger, the shots are going down range. I'm going to sprint towards the skewer here, and as soon as I hit this line, I'm going to pull the trigger. And then this will be at a full sprint. You can see it's a small delay. It has to cancel your sprint, pull the rifle up before the round is thrown. As opposed to if you're just normally walking, it's obviously an immediate fire. There's no animation delay at all. Constantly sprinting around the map can definitely handicap you and give your opponent the better advantage, because if you're going here, like I said, there has to be a delay. So when you're sprinting, you come around the corner, if your enemy's already waiting for you, they can get the first shot off on you before that you can even cancel your sprint. Sprinting is really only useful if you're carrying the flag, the ball, or if you're trying to relocate to a different position, or if you are trying to get back into a gunfight to help assist your teammates. One of the only ways to constantly keep moving, or to at least maintain your sprint speed and immediately fire, is by incorporating a slide, because if you're sliding, your rifle is automatically up and you can start throwing rounds regardless of where in the slide you are. All right, so the last little bit of stuff that I want to cover is basically the weapons themselves. Fortunately for you, I also have a playlist where I'm covering every single weapon inside of Halo Infinite of how to use it. I will let that pop up on the screen. You can check that out later if you want. Some of the weapons inside of Halo Infinite are a little different than others. What I mean by this is bullet time, bullet travel. For instance, if we're talking about the Heatwave, this is a projectile weapon. This is not an instant damage weapon like, for instance, the battle rifle. The battle rifle, as soon as you pull the trigger, you're basically making immediate contact with your enemy. The Heatwave, on the other hand, is not like that. It actually has a delay. When you shoot it, you can see the bullet trail right here. So when it comes to being in a long-range situation, you have to be able to lead your enemy. Knowing how far you have to lead your enemy based off of the distance is pretty crucial in order to maximize the usage of this weapon. Otherwise, it puts you at a severe disadvantage. The only real way to practice with these weapons is to go into training modes and play with them over and over and over. So now that we're on the topic of weapons, let's go over the last final detail here. Halo is still one of those shooters where going for the headshots don't truly matter. Unlike other games where basically if you hit a headshot, it results in extra damage or even a one-hit kill, inside of Halo, because there are shields, that is not the case. There are only two weapons inside of Halo Infinite that are a one-shot headshot kill. That is, of course, the ever so graceful sniper rifle and the shock rifle. Every other weapon, you have to drain the Spartan shield before you are allowed to kill them with a headshot. All right, that's gonna be it for this video. If this video has helped you out in any way, please do me a favor and hit the thumbs up, as it truly helps me out. Also check out my channel for weapons guides and more tips and tricks. If you have any comments or any other questions, feel free to post them down below and I will respond to you. Also, if you want to say hi, I do live stream here on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook every Tuesday and Thursday, 9 a.m. Eastern. Happy slaying, guys. That was a really good game for a first game, dude.